hello, good morning to you. This is Laszlo Adrian Spiller or Spiller the IT Headhunter. And today I have a special guest, Linda Horváth, who is an Agile expert. Hi Linda, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm fine, thanks. Hope my dogs won't jump in to comment what we are talking about.
Okay, don't worry, don't worry. Okay, so last time when I made a New Year message, I promised to my audience to come back with some live video interviews with senior IT professionals who made an interesting career in IT and who can be a good example to other people who would like to start a career in IT. So this is why I came back to you, because last time we spoke, it was 2 years ago. So could you just summarize me what happened since then?
It was already 2 years. Oh my God, I thought it was like 1 year ago. Sometimes I feel that it's still 2020. So I've changed my job since then. I left IBM and joined ThyssenKrupp about a year ago. And of course, I'm in the same field. However, during the pandemic, I started to make music again, as I've done before my IT career. So I'm learning a lot about the automotive industry because this was a completely new thing for me, and I'm working in automotive industry now at ThyssenKrupp. I'm slowly growing in the field. It's really interesting because I joined a team where I had to introduce Agile methodologies, but as they learned about Agile, I had to learn about the product, the processes. So it's a really hard and long journey. My life changed a lot since we met. I just have two things which are the same actually. I moved, I changed my flat. So, all changed. So my passion toward airplanes and aviation industry is the same, and I'm applying Agile there as well. And of course, I still have the dogs.
Okay, great. This is great that you have some hobbies. As I hear, I think this is very important that besides work, you have something to do in your free time as well. Okay, but let's focus a little bit on your profession and on your technical skills. So you mentioned that you learn new technologies and new methods. So what new technologies and methods have you mastered since we last met?
So I cannot tell you much about the project. This is a pre-development project, and it's basically prototyping. And for me, before, I was mostly working on software development projects at IBM. So it was a completely new world, meeting the engineers, seeing how physically things are done. And of course, I had to learn and understand that those methodologies that we are applying on the online world could not be applied in the same way for the physical world, So I had to understand and to be able to select what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So I had to understand the logic and to suggest good things. However, what helped me to do that was listening the need and understanding what are the goals, basically.
I see. And was it easy to introduce the agile thinking in the automotive industry? Was it completely new to the automotive industry? I mean, the agile thinking itself.
So for this team or project I joined, they already knew about this methodology, so it was not completely new to them. However, some of the methodologies or some of the frameworks that we suggested was new or interpreted in a different way. Honestly, I think, but this is the only automotive project, so I don't know if it's relevant what I'm saying. But honestly, I think it doesn't matter. Actually, it matters a lot what kind of industry it is, but mostly it matters what are the needs and the goals what will be the end product, what is needed, and you have always to tailor the methodology and the process somehow to serve the team, and not to say, okay, this is the framework, these are the rules, and we must follow those those rules, because you need to do something that helps the people and not something that builds more administrative work or more meetings, whatever. So yeah, back to your question, some parts were easy to introduce, some parts were hard, but I don't know if this is because it's automotive, or this is because the pandemic. This project team was used to work together in the office or near the test benches, whatever. And basically, after I joined, a few weeks later, the coronavirus stuff started. So we had to start to learn to adapt to this whole new situation, new toolings. So it has so many effects that I cannot tell you for sure if it's because Agile, or if it's because the tooling, or it's because automotive. However, I when I joined this project, I started reading about automotive and Agile, and well, some parts of it were introduced in automotive for the first time, some of the scrum methodologies, so it should not be new, but that was, I don't know, 50 years ago, and everything changed since then.
Absolutely, yes, especially in the past 1 year. Okay, you mentioned the pandemic situation, and I have a generic question. Do you think that the companies who were able to introduce Agile were more able to respond to critical situations, such as the pandemic situation itself? So is it easier to respond to the pandemic with the help of Agile? What do you think?
Definitely, yes, because Agile is preparing the teams or the people to be able to plan in shorter phases, like sprints, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and to be able to respond easier to new stuff. So to be ready and open for change. And this mindset basically is now the key of success. If you're not able to respond fast or to plan, of course you have to keep your goals and whatever, but you have to plan with short periods, for short periods. So for example, if you know how to plan for sprints, this is a great help. If you're able to adapt to new situations because you are open all the time and you're used to have constant change, that's also something that helps a lot, because this whole pandemic, it's a new situation, especially for our project. This was really different from what we were doing. So for example, we started using the tools in a different way. We didn't have the opportunity to go in the office and draw on the boards and discuss around the boards what we are doing, but we discovered new opportunities and options in the Jira tool, for example, or we started using Slack, or so there are many opportunities, online team buildings, online discussions. Yeah, it's a new world, and if you are used to something and you don't want to do something else, if you want to stick the plan no matter what, and the frameworks that you are doing, and you are not open for the change, then you cannot survive. But I don't have the right knowledge to be able to compare the financials of given companies, for example. What I can tell is that the factories are badly affected about this situation. And of course, if you are producing a product that is gonna go to the streets, well, first of all, because of the pandemic, people cannot go to the factory and work, or there was a period when the factories were closed. So that's a really bad situation. On the other hand, even if you can produce, people are losing their jobs, people are staying home. So as I read these articles, people are not willing to buy cars. So this side is also something bad. On the other hand, if you are thinking about the software development part of the automotive industry, I think that was not very much affected, because those things can be done from home office or from test bench. However, if there are no financials to pay, that's also a bad thing. Our project was not too much influenced in a bad way, let's say. However, I read that there are some problematic parts of this industry around the world. So it's not easy. It's not easy. Prototyping, that's not a sector where you are influencing too many people. So that's mostly engineering and software development, and of course testing, and you don't need crowds to do.
Yes.
So it's to have in hand, you make tests to understand that people are not sick, and so it's hard. I think it's really expensive to keep up, and if I have to summarize, yes, automotive was hit by this overall around the world.
Yeah, but I think this is also an opportunity, because if you use artificial intelligence, especially in production, then you can save the lives of the workers. On the other hand, you can use artificial intelligence in the car itself. So I think this is an opportunity for the automotive sector as well. What do you think about it?
Well, in my previous projects, not now, at IBM, I was working with artificial intelligence projects, and of course this sounds great and fancy. However, if you were used to produce something like hardware, like, I don't know, you were producing the car itself, even if you're having the best artificial intelligence, you have to put it in the car, right?
Absolutely.
And the production is stuff. You don't have where to put the artificial intelligence. However, the development can be easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not change. What I want to say, it's not easy, but it can be done from home office, let's say. But anything you develop before you give it to a customer or before it goes to the road, it has to face lots of safety measurements, safety approvals, and of course it has to be tested. And for that you need a physical car. And I don't think that during these 2 years the main focus was on making fancy stuff. I think the focus in this last one year, 1.5 or 2 years, was to survive and to somehow figure out a construction where you can keep as much as possible of your company or your investors or whatever. And I'm saying this as an overall, not the company where I'm working, because I'm not involved in such decisions. I am just working with one small team.
Yeah. I don't want to put so much focus on the automotive industry, but another thing came to my mind. So you cannot put robots to every factory, basically, because you cannot replace all the people with robots. On the other hand, you cannot make all the cars running, on the roads, self-driving from one day to the other. So I think this is a great challenge. Of course, this is an opportunity, but it will not change the world overnight, I think.
So your question was basically about working robots instead of people in the factories and not having an AI driving the car.
Yeah, but I think we can consider both of them. So, I think, okay, so let's step further. Let's focus on the IT industry in general a little bit. So, how long have you been using Agile? How long have you been working with Agile methodologies?
Now we need to make some mathematics to calculate it. So I met this framework Agile basically when I was at the university and my master studies. I think that was in 2011, maybe, or 12. And then I was learning project management, and we were choosing different project management methodologies, and we had to investigate and stay with a team, a sport team, or in an office with a team, and to learn about team dynamics. So the human factors and the values were the first thing I seen and we learned about. It was a professor from the US teaching us about this. And later, in the next months, after we understood the human factors, the team dynamics, the psychology of teamwork, he introduced the other side of this methodology, the frameworks and the rules and tools you can have to support that mentality that is required by Agile. So yeah, it was around 10 years ago. My God, that's a lot.
Yes, yes. And has it been widely accepted since then? I mean, within the IT, is Agile methodology widely used now in the IT sector?
Yeah, I think yes. It's because of the industry, the market is developing really fast, and there are all the time happening new stuff, and you have to be able to adapt to the change as quickly as possible. And this is the right mindset to be able to do that. And also these tools and this type of ceremonies that are used in this methodology are the right ones to help your work to do so.
I see, I see. Okay, and where else can you utilize agile thinking? Because you have several hobbies. I know that you are interested in aviation. What is more, you are a so-called professional aviator. You also have an artistic work, which is singing. So how can you apply those agile principles in these projects?
So if I would not have the capability and the knowledge of this framework, I would not be able to manage my new project, my personal project. My personal project is 12 songs recorded in studio, and all these songs are composed to a given type of airplane, which is flying in the music video of my music. And for all this, I had to create a whole online marketing campaign. Then how to manage the people working on the music with me on this. And next, the videos, how to get the approvals, how to get the technical support, the weather. So it's a really complex project. And here as well, I am also having 1 month sequences or 1 month frames or time boxes for each song. What I've changed, I can actually show it.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay, so meanwhile, yeah, here it is. Okay.
I'm here.
Oh, I see.
So this is a Kanban board. I don't know.
Very nice.
I don't know how to show it.
Very colorful.
And what is changed is that you know, in Kanban boards, you have usually three steps, or backlog, committed, in progress, or done. And you are moving your actions in those steps. And what I've done is, after my second song was recorded and my second music video was created, I understood that, okay, first I created a checklist, which are the steps that I have to complete for each song in order to go out and to have promoted and all the stuff. And I just slowly started to write those steps like this, instead of the in progress, done, usual steps. So I am having, for example, composing the lyrics, singing in the studio, managing the band stuff, then mastering the songs, then legal backgrounds, copyrights, whatever. Then artists used, where you have these also legal background. Then let's make the planning for the video, music video, recording video, and I have some checklist under each step. And then promotion, releasing it on online platforms, whatever, and at the end, the last round of the promotion. And for now, for me, each card, it's a song. And
Right.
I am moving, basically this one was done yesterday, so I can move it here. And the colors are also having a meaning for me. For example, yellow ones are faster songs or with higher tempo. The blue ones are slow songs. So yeah, this is a little system that helps me a lot. And what we are doing also, whenever we are working on something, is we are discussing each step. So fail fast. So we don't work on something for separately, individually. For example, with Abel, who is making the instrumentation for my songs, he's not working on it for weeks and then he shows me a final stuff. We are sending drafts to each other. And I can tell you, having these drives in the cloud, it makes our job easier. And before, I couldn't imagine making music online. I was all the time meeting with the people. We were going to rehearsals room and so on. Now we do almost everything online. The only time we met during a song is when I sing it in the studio. Yes, it's done online.
Oh, it's great. I think this is a very good combination when you can use your profession together with your hobby and art. So I think this is a very good example, because I think this is a great tool and you can use it in your private projects as well.
Yes, and mentally it helps a lot because, you know, before the pandemic, I'm a really social person. I need to meet people. I need to talk with people. I need to go to concerts, to fly, to go to trips. So I'm that kind of person who needs this. And during the pandemic, I was home alone mostly.
Yeah.
Especially not even going to the office. I was
With your dog, at least.
yes,
With,
yeah.
with the dog.
And them, they were going to the other room when I started my calls. They were like, "Come on, go away." No. So making this project, it gives me something that was different from what I was doing during the day. Kind of like meditation, because when you do arts, your brain is switching to something else.
Exactly.
And having a clear goal of what I want helped a lot, because I had to make a plan and to stick to that plan. And you know, the aviation industry, even if it's in trouble, people are really helpful. When I'm telling about my project, until now, whenever I asked somebody, for example, if he would help me with making a music video or flying in my music videos or give a plane or something. Those pilots were all the time saying, yes, okay, what you need, let's plan it, let's make it. And I'm talking about really big names. For example, Matt Hole, the Red Bull Air Race World Championship from Australia. He's my mentor, basically. So he's my role model, and he was all the time motivating me from the beginning to chase my dreams. To actually, he's having also this agile mindset, and he is also treating people with trust and openness. And I can tell you that even if we are not saying officially that we are working as an agile team for this project, we are doing this 100%. We are just not saying let's have a daily or let's have a stand-up. We are just having the discussions. And the part, there was another, my last music video was when we flew to the Alps in the end of December. And that airplane, the Altus, is a prototype, and it was built in Hungary. So it's something really special and unique. And for example, planning that flight with that plane and the pilot was something that was also requiring agile planning and being able to respond quick to the change, because especially in winter, if you have to fly, the meteorology has to be your friend.
Yeah.
And December, the meteorology was not as a good friend as we wanted. So for a week, for 2 weeks, I was prepared mentally and physically that today we go, and in the morning I think we won't go. So it was if I wouldn't have that mindset, I couldn't do this, because I have a daily job, and you cannot say, if you are not having this mindset, you cannot tell to your colleagues that, oh, in this week at one day I will go somewhere and maybe I will not come back for 2 days. I don't know when this will be. So if your colleagues won't be able to work as an agile team, they would get scared. Oh my God, why are you going, and what are your tasks? How we handle that? You would need to do really big handover sessions, whatever. But our dailies help us with that. So, and of course, they were supportive and understanding me. And on the other hand, we had to get prepared for this flight, and yeah, that was also something that plan changed sometimes.
Yeah, I think it was a very good example what you have just said, that art uses your brain differently. And I can share a secret with you.
Okay.
I always wanted to make video job adverts, and I used to make some of them, in the past, but I didn't do it very seriously and very actively. And when the pandemic arrived, let me put it that way, I changed my mind and I started doing this very actively. And I've just discovered that it, gives me a lot of joy, and it gives me a lot of enthusiasm. And I think it will make my job colorful, even if I have to stay at home all the time. So I think this is what saved me during this critical situation, because if I didn't have this hobby, let's say, then I wouldn't be able to survive, and I wouldn't enjoy my work at home, because I also need, the teamwork. I'm also an outgoing personality, kind of an extrovert, if you like. And I think it really changed my life that I discovered that there is also an artistic aspect of my work too. So it was a very good confirmation from your side that art is very important, even if you are, let's say, an IT professional or a headhunter or an agile coach.
On the other hand, for artists who are living from this, it's a really hard period, I think.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how they can make it. it's crazy. But yeah, it's crazy in the automotive too, if you are in production environment in factories. So I think hopefully this will be the hardest period of my life in the industry. I'm just hoping that there won't be anything worse than this.
Yeah. Okay, so let's hope for the best. And let's hope for a personal interview when we can talk about your job and about your hobbies again in the near future. So thank you very much for this interview. Thank you very much for attending this short conversation. So I'm also grateful that everybody is watching my video blog. So you can find these videos on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook as well. So thank you very much for your attention. Keep watching my video blog, and I will soon come back with some more new interesting topics and guests. So thank you very much and goodbye. Bye.
Have a nice day.